Hey YouTube, how's it going? Well, it's going okay in some ways. The weather has been hideously hot. I don't even like to think about what the electric bill has been lately. Let's just say that this last time around has reached a record high because air conditioning, while extremely awesome to have, is pricey to run. I'm looking forward to next month when the temperatures should start to decline and take some of the strain off. In the meantime, there is of course a new episode of Hermitcraft up, and of course there is a link in the description and so on. And I've got another fan fiction for you. This one is pretty good. This is another of the worm crossover things. Actually, it's a worm, yeah, it's a crossover. Yeah, from the Worm series, or story, or web serial, or whatever you want to call it. This one crosses Worm with an anime from like 15 or 20 years ago or something, I guess. Some folks may remember something called Varga. Well, that's basically what we got here in a story called Taylor Varga. Now this thing is a little over 1.9 million words. It's a huge story, 416 chapters. I will note that a lot of those chapters, like maybe 100 or more of them, are omakes. And you know, that word is something I had to spend a bunch of time looking up to what the heck that means or what it is. And apparently what it boils down to is extra or bonus content that does not necessarily tie in completely with the story and is not necessarily actually part of the story. So I've taken to skipping most of them. I mean, it's not that they're bad or anything. Most of them that I've seen, most of the ones that I've read are actually pretty good and usually funny. But they detract a little bit from the story. And in this case, in this story, like I said, there's a lot of them. So I've taken to mostly skipping them, the only exceptions being the ones where this author has actually chosen to label them as either an omake or a canon omake, which means that he's decided that that particular omake is actually part of the story. And that's fine, but there is a ton of content in this story. It does not proceed at this rip-slash pace that some stories do, where they get in years of content in a couple of them, in 20 or 30 chapters or something. No, this thing takes its time and it has fun. It is a lot of fun. It's a fun kind of story. There is epic adventure, drama, and so on. And of course, for those not familiar with Varga, Taylor Hebert in this story, instead of triggering as a parahuman when she's in the locker, like the canon story has it had, in this case, she finds herself in some other place. It's all dark except for a bright area in front of her, and a voice, a big epic voice of awesome, asking, "Do you seek power? And what are you going to use the power for?" And so on and so forth. And long story short, she finds herself dumped outside of the locker finally. It's late at night, the school was closed, so on. And she has a tail. Yeah. And it goes from there, and it's very interesting. There's a lot of funny, in fact, hilarious moments. It's a very good story. I strongly recommend it. and it is linked in the description if I remember to do that, which I should. But you should be able to find it on fanfiction.net if I didn't, which now that I've spoken about it so much, I probably will. Anyway, I think that's probably about it. It's one of those stories that if you do nothing else but read it, it will still take you, if you do nothing else but read it for 18 hours a day, it will still take you a week and a half to 2 weeks to read it. It's a lot of story, but it's very, very good. And I strongly recommend it. It's a good one. All right, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I am out of here.
Mr. TinFoilChef.